Hey friends, and welcome back. If you guys have been following me on Threads or maybe even TikTok, you know that I am obsessed with the show With Love, Meghan. It's the lifestyle show from Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and it has 2 seasons on Netflix plus a holiday special. I was thinking of some new content that I wanted to do. And while I was thinking of new content, I was like, I really want to tap into my lifestyle bag. And what better way to start doing that than to record myself making some recipes and doing some of the crafts from With Love, Meghan. So this is the first one that I'm going to do, which is this really simple one skillet spaghetti that she made in episode 1 with her friend, her makeup artist. And it seems really simple. Now, I will tell you, I'm not a gourmet cook. I actually didn't start cooking that much until my husband and I got together. Obviously, I knew how to cook to survive and to feed myself. But I didn't start cooking like meals until my husband, because obviously he likes to eat. So I have found a new love for cooking. It's about 5:30 p.m. and it's actually about to be dinner time. So I'm going to try to make this for myself. Now, typically when I make spaghetti, I usually make it with meat, but this is actually a meatless spaghetti. So this is really good for the vegetarians out there, but it seems really simple. The way that I typically make it is with like a ground turkey, spaghetti sauce. Also very simple. I basically make it the way that my mom used to make it way back in the day. And my husband's from New York. He calls it spaghetti with meat sauce. Where I'm from in the Midwest, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we just say spaghetti. And when we say spaghetti, people just know that that means that there's like a meat sauce with it. But apparently, you have to specify that it's with a meat sauce to New Yorker. So if you're from New York, let me know. Is that a thing for you guys, or is that just my husband and his need to be ultra specific about everything? This recipe just calls for some cherry tomatoes, parmesan, some pasta, of course, Swiss chard or basically any greens, garlic, salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, and olive oil. I actually have my iPad here because I'm going to be watching the episode while she makes it. On Netflix, on their Tadum website, they have all of the recipes and crafts listed for season 2 of With Love, Megan. But for season 1, while they have all of the episodes listed, each episode doesn't have each recipe from the episode. And so they don't have the one skillet spaghetti on the Netflix website. But if you Google, you can find recipes for it just online. I just want to follow exactly what she did on the show. Not to say that the recipes that you find online are not true to what she did on the show. I'm sure they are. But since it's my first time making this and I'm recording it, I want to make it the way that Meghan made it. Anyway, I'm going to be making some of her other recipes as well. I am definitely going to be making that raspberry lemon honey cake that she made in the same episode 1. I am just waiting for my as ever fruit spreads to arrive. If I'm going to make a cake that uses raspberry preserves, of course, I'm going to order from Megan herself. So make sure you are subscribed and tuned in so that you can see me when I make the cake. But let's get started with this spaghetti, okay? The way that they start off in the episode, her and her makeup artist Daniel, they are chopping up all of the cherry tomatoes. So let's go ahead and do that. I just bought these tomatoes. I bought them from like Publix or something. I really wanted to go and source them from a farmer's market, but I didn't make it to a farmer's market this weekend. I'm actually going to just sit that right there. I didn't make it to a farmer's market this weekend. I do plan to go to one this upcoming Sunday. So if I can find more, and I'll definitely be making this recipe again. Um, if it tastes good, right? I love saying tomatoes, and then somebody on YouTube was like, "It's tomato," because I said it in another video when I was doing a review of a movie, and they're like, "It's tomato," and I'm like, if you can't detect the humor in me saying tomato, I'm worried. I'm worried about the children. George Bush, his crimes still linger. All right. And then No Child Left Behind. A part of that is the people are unable to detect humor and sarcasm these days. And it's actually very sad to see. Because clearly I'm not British, right? So if I say tomato, it's likely a joke. So like, damn, lighten up, people. So I'm just gonna cut the cherry tomatoes in half. It's so funny doing this. Have you guys ever seen the show Lessons in Chemistry or read the book? I don't know why I feel like the woman from Lessons in Chemistry. Brie Larson did her thing in that show, though. If y'all haven't watched it, please tap in on Apple TV. It's so good, but it's so sad. It had me crying. If you are not new to this channel, then you know that I just cry a lot. I'm a very sensitive gal, but if you're new here, hello. I'm Jazz and I cry a lot. But yeah, Lessons in Chemistry was so good. And so I feel like Brie Larson's character right now while I'm doing this. One thing they also did when they were chopping up the tomatoes, they had the kettle going. So she put the water in a tea kettle. I have like an actual like water kettle over there. So I just turned that on to let the water boil because what you're going to do is put all of the tomatoes into a skillet and then you're gonna put the pasta in, you're gonna put some salt on the tomato, some olive oil, and then you're gonna pour that boiling water over everything and then put it on the stove. So it's a really interesting way for her to do it. Like I said, I don't typically make spaghetti like this. I don't typically make my tomato sauce from scratch either. So we'll see how this turns out. On the show, she had yellow and red tomatoes. I just have the red tomatoes. I don't know. It doesn't look like I have enough. Like, I feel like in her episode, the tomatoes, like, covered the entire bottom. I'm actually gonna try a smaller skillet. Let me see something. Okay, there we go. I tried a smaller skillet, and now it looks like it's covering the bottom. Listen, I'm just trying to be so precise to the way that she made it in the show. Even down to, like, I was telling my husband, I was like, "I need new cookware. I need new skillets and stuff like that." And he's like, "Girl, we just bought our house in August. I just bought you new pots and pans when we moved into this new house. You don't need a new skillet." I just wanted to use the skillet that she was using on the show, but, I understand. He doesn't wanna just waste money on frivolous things, like new skillets when I already have perfectly capable skillets. I get it. That's why I married him. Cause where I would just spend money unnecessarily, he's like, "Ma'am, we don't need to do all that." So, got my tomatoes in here. Now I'm gonna salt them. No, I need a much cuter vessel for this, but right now we're just gonna use this. So I'm salting the tomatoes. Now, me, when I typically make spaghetti, I like to put a little bit of sugar in the sauce once it's done. So I might add some sugar here because tomatoes actually give me a little bit of heartburn. I don't know if it's the same for you, but like it's like the older I get, I just started getting heartburn whenever I eat stuff that is packed with tomatoes. And it's crazy because I love tomatoes. I love tomato sauce, all the things. So I got the salt and the olive oil on the tomato. She also put some garlic in. So I'm just gonna chop some garlic really quickly. I have to work on my knife skills because I really want to chop this garlic really finely, almost like mince it, but I'm just not a professional at this cooking stuff. So like it's kind of chunky. Let's see if I can make it smaller. Cause I like when garlic is in stuff, but I don't really like to taste garlic, if that makes sense. Like I like that garlic is used to enhance a lot of flavors in a lot of foods, but if I can taste it too much, then I actually don't like that. So I want to get this as small as possible to put in there. It smells good though. And if you ever have to deal with any vampires, girl, garlic is your best friend, but I don't know too many vampires. Not personally, at least. There's a couple famous ones out there who like have not aged a day. I'm looking at you, Angela Bassett, Pharrell. Y'all are vampires for real. And it might not be that far fetched, okay? Angela was in American Horror Story Coven, okay? She was a voodoo priestess in that show, so it wouldn't be far fetched if she were indeed a vampire. Jury's still out on that. So once you have the tomatoes, the olive oil, salt, and the garlic in, Megan in the show, I have it right here playing, she puts the dry pasta right on top of the tomatoes. So we're gonna see this. I'm using about this much. She doesn't say, I don't think she talks about any measurements when it comes to this recipe. I think she does though, because I think she mentions that she uses about 3.5 cups of water for the kettle. So I have this in here. Now you're just gonna pour the boiling water over this. Now, this is the part I'm excited about, but stand by. So I have my kettle here, and we're gonna pour the boiling hot water. Okay. I mean, nothing spectacular is happening, but we got that in there, and then she puts this right on the stove. So that's what I'm gonna do. So now the skillet is on the stove, and let me just say this, y'all. You guys know that girl on TikTok who does all the dances and stuff. She's so funny, but she's always like, "Let me just say this, y'all. Let me just say this, though, guys. It was probably not the best idea for me to have the skillet right here and then pour the boiling hot water on the island and then transfer the skillet to the stove. I should have started with the skillet on the stove. poured the water over there because I had to pick it up. It was super heavy, okay? We don't love that. We don't love that. Now, in the episode, she also chops up some Swiss chard. So I just washed this off camera. I'm obviously not gonna put too much, like chop too much of it up. Let's see. I'm gonna just start with one leaf actually and see how that plays out. Because you just want some greens in it at the end. I think that's fine. I'll probably do one more leaf of this. It's so pretty though. The rainbow chard. Is rainbow chard the same as Swiss chard? I'm gonna assume it is because when I was ringing it up at the grocery store, I did self checkout. I was at Publix. I did self checkout and there was no option for rainbow. I started typing in rainbow first and nothing came up. But then when I typed in Swiss, this was the only option. So I'm assuming it's the same, but y'all let a girl know. So I'm just chopping this up here. That I might do another leaf. I'll see in a second, but that's that for now. I don't know if you guys can see me or not, but there was also some lemon zest involved. So I'm doing that over here. Actually, I'm not a good zester. I always, oh shit. I know I dropped the whole darn lemon in there. Okay, you know what? That's enough right now. Sometimes that's too much for Elmo. You know what I mean? So we're gonna leave that there. Okay, I'm actually gonna add some more Swiss chard leaves because I'm looking at the episode again and she is actually chopping up quite a bit over there. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. Because I do want it to, I love the different colors, right? Like the greens with the red. So I want to make sure I have enough. I don't want it to look bald headed. I don't want it to look like that. So I'm gonna add this. I think, hmm, what's one more? What is one more? Okay, you can never go wrong. Honestly, it's a green, right? So you can never go wrong. Can never have too many greens. So I'm gonna just chop this up here. Okay, cool. I'm looking at the episode. She has the Le Creuset skillet, which is really what I want. Husband, if you're watching this, that's really what I want. I want an entire Le Creuset. Sorry, Le Creuset. I want the entire set. I want the Dutch oven. I want the oval, like baking dish for roasting chicken. I want the skillet. I want the small little ramekins. I want it all. Okay. She also at this time grates some Parmesan. I'm actually gonna get a smaller cutting board for the Parmesan because this has like a little bit of that Swiss chard juice on it, and I mean, it's all gonna mix together anyway. Anyway, no, I'm gonna do another cutting board. No, I don't know. If should I be grading it like this? Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at that. I'm not a good zester, so I assume that would mean that I am not a good grader, but grading is actually a lot easier. I'm super excited about this, by the way, because I'm a girl from Wisconsin. I love me some cheese. I love me some dairy. I love ice cream. I love milk. That's how they say milk when you get to like the outskirts of Wisconsin. So not in Milwaukee where I'm from. I think we just say milk. If you're in Milwaukee and you can attest, confirm or deny, let me know. But I think we all just say milk. But once you get out of Milwaukee and like Racine, like when you start going like deep, deep in Wisconsin, like the real dairy state, they say milk and bag, eggs. They talk like that. I love it. Super endearing. Whenever I hear somebody pronounce stuff like that, I'm like, that has to be a Wisconsinite. But I hear it's kind of like a prominent Midwestern accent. So maybe the people that I hear talk like that, and I'm like, oh, they're from Wisconsin. Maybe they're not even from Wisconsin. They might be from Minnesota. Minnesota. Anyway, look at that. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna put this cheese away. So in the show, she takes the lid off and she is talking to Daniel about how this spaghetti is essentially just soaking in the starch from the nudes. That is noodles, not the other thing. I just like to shorten things sometimes. Now, I will say mine doesn't look the way hers looks on the show, but I think it's because I don't have the Le Creuset skillet. So I need that skillet in order for my food to look just like hers. But fuck it, we ball. You know what I mean? Now, this is the part where she adds the greens. So I'm going to pick up my lovely greens that I chopped up and I'm going to transfer them over. Going to mix them in. Ooh, I love how this looks, the color. I'm going to work on my camera work, guys, because I'm definitely going to get some shots over here on the stove eventually. So maybe when I make this recipe again in the future, if it tastes good, I'll have a camera set up over here so you guys can see what I see over the stove. So now we're just gonna let the noodles cook for a few more minutes. I just tried one, and I'm not even lying, guys. I already like the taste. Like, I just used my tongs to pull up a small little spaghetti noodle, and I ever so gently and classily and elegantly dropped it into my mouth. And the flavors are there. That's one thing. If you ever want to know anything about me and what I like when it comes to my food, I just love really good flavors, and I can taste it. I don't know if it's something with just using the fresh tomatoes or what, but it's good already, guys. Now, in the show, she puts arugula in so that she could have a nice peppery bite. I am historically not a fan of arugula, so I'm just gonna use some good old-fashioned black pepper. In the words of my girl Miriam, I don't know if you guys watch, it's so good. She was on YouTube, then she migrated to TikTok. I don't know if she still makes YouTube videos, but I will watch anything. She cooks the most delicious looking food, but she's always like, "Black pepper." Shout out to you, girl. So the pasta is all done. Now, mine, like I said, mine doesn't look as good as hers did, but it's because I don't have the Le Creuset. And also because I think I have too much water for the amount of tomatoes and noodles that I have, but we're gonna give it a shot. Now, I just didn't know which bowl I wanted to use. Like, I have this little bowl that I have from Target. We have that in a set. But I also have this cool like plate bowl that I got from HomeGoods. So I might use the plate bowl because I'm pretty hungry. So I'm gonna get quite a bit. This is also the time in the episode where she shows Daniel how to do pretty plating. So she takes some pasta up into her tongs and she has some. Listen, I actually I don't know what she does with that. Obviously, this is the wrong spoon. I get the idea though, right? This looks a mess. This looks a mess. And then you're supposed to put it in here. But because I don't have that proper spoon, mine is gonna just look kind of crazy. I'm gonna put that in here. Mine is gonna look a little crazy. But what we're really going for right now is taste, right? Because for me, if these recipes turn out well, taste-wise, I'll make them again, and then I can perfect the artistic portion, the plating and stuff like that, but for now, we just wanna make sure it tastes good. So, don't laugh, guys. That's my plating. Can you see that? It slid. That's why it looks crazy because it slid down when I tipped the plate. Just joking. It looked a mess before I did that, but we're gonna go for taste, not for artistry right now, so let's give it a quick taste and see how it turned out. Got me a trusty fork here. Let's see. I want to get some of those greens in there. Give me a tomato. Let's see. I like that. I like it because it tastes fresh. You can tell that I use fresh tomatoes, fresh Swiss chard. Everything tastes fresh. You can taste that burst of the lemon zest that's in there. There's a creaminess from the pasta water plus the added Parmesan cheese. So this is a winner in my book. I would totally make this again. Maybe either use more tomatoes and noodles or less water next time. Maybe I would add something to it, like some type of protein or something. I don't know, but this is really good as is. So if you want to try Meghan Sussex, or is it Meghan Duchess of Sussex? I don't know if you can just say Meghan Sussex. Anyway, if you want to try her one skillet spaghetti, I say go for it. It's really tasty. But thank you guys so much for coming on this first journey with me. My first like lifestyle, like cooking video. If you are on my channel because you like my TV and film content, no worries. That's not going to stop. I'm just incorporating some of this content into my channel as well. You know, my YouTube is really my creative playground. So you're going to be seeing lots of different series from me on here because whenever I have an idea, I'm just going to execute it right here on YouTube. So if you like me, if you just like me, just stay for all of the wonderful things that I'm going to do. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.